Welcome to your Chapter 13 review. Hopefully you took a picture of the board today. It's all right there. Because if you didn't, you're going to struggle. So hopefully you got that taken down. I'm going to go through some questions with you. And we can make this work. Okay? So Manifest Destiny, what was it all about? The ideology behind it. The U.S. was destined by God to do this. The United States should create a vast new empire of liberty. Those were the ideas about it. We should be able to expand westward. The critics of territorial expansion believe that if we expand, slavery is going to expand. It's going to make it worse on us. So there's both sides to this. Every problem is going to have what we should or should not do. It's going to have critics of both sides. The immigrants that were traveling west, the migrants that were traveling west, they found this to be a very interesting experience. They found it to be very communal. Okay, there were some Indian attacks, but you know what? For the most part, Indians helped them. They tried to get out west. They started in Independence, Missouri, and try to get to the Oregon coast as quickly as possible before winter set in. The Mexican War. Well, the immediate cause of the Mexican War dealt with one thing, and it was dealt with border disputes of where the border of the United States should be, Rio Grande or northern Arizona. The result of the Mexican War was the United States provoked Mexico to fight. Moving down, the Wilmot Proviso basically prohibited slavery in any land acquired from Mexico. It didn't really go into effect though, but that was the idea behind it. When it came to the idea of extension of slavery, James K. Polk and the whole issue with the Mexican War and westward expansion, James K. Polk flavored the idea of the Missouri Compromise. Down at the bottom of the left-hand side on the board is the California Gold Rush and California in general. And the California Gold Rush, about 95% of the people that went were men. These 49ers, and they basically took out every ounce of gold they could find and move on to the next mine. As a result of the gold rush, California was very diverse because there's also a lot of Asians coming into the West Coast, going through Angel Island and taking over the western side. So it was very diverse at the time, but not a lot of women. The admission of California in the United States was a national issue because the entry would upset the numerical balance of free and slave states. The Compromise of 1850 allowed for California to become for a free state, along with the strengthened Fugitive Slave Act. And in regards to the Fugitive Slave Act, the northern states passed laws preventing deportation of some people, not everybody. The Gadsden Purchase needed that land for the Transcontinental Railroad in the South. The Kansas-Nebraska Act, make sure you know what it's about, the idea behind it, what John Brown had in regards to it. The Republican Party was big with the Kansas-Nebraska Act. John Brown in general, what his goals were, why he tried to take on the issue of slavery all by himself. Charles Sumner on the floor, what was the purpose of this? How did it happen? Southern defenders of slavery wanted slaves to, they believed that slaves had a better condition than northern industrial workers. Blacks were inherently unfit to take care of themselves, they believed. Slaves allowed whites and blacks to live together peacefully. Dred Scott's Missouri Compromise was unconstitutional. Overturned that case in 1820. The Lincoln-Douglas debates. Douglas asserted that slavery was legal but not immoral. That was one idea of it. It became clear that Lincoln and the Lincoln-Douglas slaves believed that slavery was morally wrong but was not an abolitionist, and he did not believe that the racial equality was feasible at the time. It's more about states' rights. And then the election of 1860 was elected with much less. Lincoln was elected because of he had less than half the popular vote. And and finally, in the election of 1860s, white Southerners really started to realize that. They concluded that their position in the Union was pretty much hopeless. So that's a little bit about that, and then get ready for tomorrow. You guys have a wonderful night studying APUSH.